market. The Fed is so interfered with the market, it doesn't remotely resemble a free market, and it cannot operate by any rules that apply to a free market, period. And when the Fed isn't manipulating the market, the federal government is doing it on the other side. Okay, what is the Fed really doing? This is what you need to understand. They are trying to prevent a recession in an election year. And they are manipulating the stock and real estate markets. Now, the real estate market they're doing indirectly. The stock market they are doing directly. Since it takes 6 months for a Fed rate cut to fully impact the economy, if you want to impact it before the election, after March it's not going to do you much good. So my guess is there will be another major rate cut in March. There might be 2. There might be another interim meeting rate cut at some point. You may see a little rate cut in April. You may see some dribbling rate cuts after that. But you should assume most of the rate cutting is going to be done fairly soon. And this has implications for the market. Once the market figures this out later on, it's going to be very bearish for the market. By the end of the year, however, the inflation statistics, even the highly manipulated government inflation statistics, which understate inflation, are likely to be getting out of hand, and the Fed is going to be forced to start raising rates. And of course, it will try to wait till after the election has taken place, and may be forced even before that to start doing it. I would guess later this year, you might have a big rate rise or some big attempts to control inflation. This will be very bad for the economy, very bad for the stock markets. Up to the election, expect Fed action anytime there is a large drop in the stock market. They've done this over and over and over and over again. Stocks and real estate have something called the wealth effect. When people feel rich because their house is worth a lot or their stocks are worth a lot, they spend more money. This is one reason you do not want the stock market to go down a lot, or the real estate market. And the federal government has tried to freeze mortgage rates and do all sorts of things. Let's analyze when the Fed has actually done major moves or made major announcements. The first one was in mid-August. The stock market had a huge drop. There was a mini crash in Japan the night before. This is when they lowered the discount rate an hour before futures expired, driving the market way up and driving all the short, bankrupting the shorts basically right at this time. I'm not kidding. They could have waited 1 hour and it would have had no difference. It was blatant manipulation of the market at this point. This is the September 18th rate cut, which pushed the market way up. This was the late October. The market wanted more. The very next day, it was the most since 9/11 of liquidity they put in the system in one day, and yet the market started to fall instead of going up immediately. They didn't even wait for it to go down. This was November. They announced end of the year liquidity boost as the market was coming down and falling apart to push it back up. They did that successfully. This was the December rate cut. They also said we're going to put more money in. This was early January. The market was starting to collapse. On this day, they said they were raising the auction rate to $30 billion from $20 billion right during the day as the market was dropping. It didn't work. There was a mini crash through multiple markets throughout the world. This is the day after Martin Luther King Day. This is the 75 basis point emergency rate cut. Just as if the market was falling apart here, they suddenly had a rate cut. Then they had another one here. The market just was not acting correctly. They did the other 50 basis points. If you actually see the market have this big drop, they will cut rates again. What is going to happen in the market starts falling apart, and there's no cuts left. To interfere in the stock market, what they're doing is outrageous. The Japanese did this repeatedly in their markets in the early 90s, the mid-90s. They've destroyed their economy. They have destroyed this stock market. If you bought Japanese stocks 15 years ago, you would not have made a dime as of today in 15 whole years. And this can happen in the United States. This could be our future. Long-term holders make no money in the stock market for many, many years. Plus, their economy went into one recession after another, after another, after another. When you destroy the free markets, when you interfere with your economy to do that, when you interfere in your stock markets, you have destroyed everything. You've destroyed future profitability.